This is KGW News at noon.
Thanks for joining us now at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin in Multnomah County, where officials are scrapping the health department's plan to give out drug supplies to people who use them. County Health Department officials initially argued handing out smoking supplies like tinfoil and pipes would help them find people struggling with addiction and get them treatment. Critics, though, including Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, pushed back, saying it would only make the crisis worse.
What the county should be doing is providing more treatment. That's what the public overwhelmingly says they want. That's what people on the streets say they overwhelmingly need. And instead, they're being offered up crack pipes and tinfoil.
Can you explain how this is intended to save lives? Because I think a lot of people see this and think this is just enabling the crisis.
Yeah. Well, what we know from decades of harm reduction research is that when we're able to build a bridge with people where they're at in terms of their drug use, we are able to build relationships with them and refer them to other services.
That's the county's public health director. But in a statement, Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vager-Peterson said the health department's plan didn't go through the proper channels and needs to be looked at further. In Newport, the mayor is officially out after several transphobic, homophobic, sexist, and racist memes he posted online over several years came to light. Reaction came quickly, first with a weekend protest and now with Dean Sawyer's resignation. Alma McCarty has the story.
Mayor Sawyer has taken responsibility for the postings and, as indicated, resigned his position as mayor this morning.
Monday night, Newport City Councilors confirmed they urged the mayor, Dean Sawyer, to resign after a series of offensive memes surfaced in an OPB story late last week.
We had a meeting with Dean a couple of days ago, and we sat in the conference room here at City Hall, and we pretty much told Dean it's over. You know, you can't get past this, so please don't put the city through any more problems and any more divisiveness.
Many in the community called for action too.
And ultimately, somebody's right to speak freely should not violate my right for a sense of safety and trust.
I hope he takes this opportunity to reflect, as he said in his resignation letter.
Sawyer resigned from his position Monday morning. His letter included an apology which read in part, "I am sorry to everyone in this community and anyone hurt by my actions, directly or indirectly. The posts I made and the humor I engaged in do not reflect my values." The hateful memes posted to a private law enforcement group of 39,000 members.
If you put something out on Facebook, that's out in the public.
It does appear that the mayor found on Facebook a very receptive audience. That in itself is frightening.
Residents and elected officials alike see this news as a wake-up call for the entire city of Newport.
We need to redouble our efforts in terms of cultural sensitivity and how to engage folks.
Moving forward, city leaders say they want to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion training. Council President C.M. Hall said now's the time to begin to rebuild trust within the community.
I want to get to that place of inclusion and welcome that is palpable. And that means we have work to do. We have to roll up our sleeves. It has to be something that's really deeply embedded in the city's work.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. Now, over the weekend, various agencies from the sheriff's office, the county, and city police department all condemned Sawyer's actions. Okay, let's get to how your weather is shaping up. Rod, what's it looking like out there today?
Let's start with the cloudy spots, shall we? There aren't many. There aren't many spots that are still completely overcast. Astoria is one of them. This is a view from the Astoria column looking down over the bridge. I do believe that it makes sense that you folks up in Clatsop County in the Astoria area and north to Long Beach will eventually become partly cloudy. 63 is your number. Now, if you go south, not very far, there's Haystack Rock, and that's Cannon Beach, and that is sunny. And take a look at the bottom of your screen. Lots of people out enjoying the noon hour on this Tuesday. 64 degrees there. Portland, kind of interesting. We're nearly the same cloud condition right now as we were about 8 o'clock this morning. The clouds started to break up. They haven't totally cleared out, but I mean, overall, it's going to be a sunny afternoon. We are at 72 degrees right now. So you figure we're definitely going to hit 80, and we could go up to about 83 at 4 p.m. Be a lovely evening, 76 at 8 o'clock. Winds are light, except for west breezes this afternoon out in the gorge, bouncing between 15 and 25. I still have 90s on my 7-day coming up. That forecast in just a bit.
Okay, thank you, Rod. In just the last 30 minutes, we've received an update on the acreage of a wildfire burning in the Mount Hood National Forest. That is where crews are fighting the Boulder Fire. It sparked Saturday afternoon, forcing evacuations at several campgrounds. At this point, it has burned about 237 acres and is 0% contained. Firefighters have had challenges with wind and steep, rough terrain around the fire. No word on the cause as of yet. Meanwhile, in Skamania County, the Tunnel 5 fire is holding steady. Firefighters have it 80% contained after it charred more than 500 acres over the past week. Also, keep in mind if you're driving in that area, an almost 10-mile stretch of State Route 14 along the Columbia River remains closed. A 15-year-old died after a boat he was on capsized along the Oregon coast. He was crabbing last Friday at the mouth of Nestucca Bay with 2 other people, a 17-year-old and an adult. Their boat, seen here, just washed ashore yesterday. The adult and the 17-year-old made it to shore safely, but the 15-year-old disappeared. The Coast Guard and local agencies searched throughout the weekend, but were not able to find him. We're told he was not wearing a life jacket, and he's presumed to have drowned. Tonight on The Story, we have an update on a woman named Tara. You may remember her from a story we did last year. Many of you found it uplifting, and ever since, we've been getting messages from people asking how she's doing. Here's a quick recap if you missed the initial story. KGW's Blair Best worked with an outreach team to get Tara off the street and into housing. It's been about 7 months now since she was handed a key to her very own apartment. And tonight on The Story, we finally have an update.
I just don't know if I would have been able to live much longer out there. I mean, I was getting to the point where I was on my breaking point. I was really on that breaking edge, ready to just like fall off of it.
We'll get a deeper look into Tara's struggles to leave her life on the street behind and the progress she's made since getting her own place. That is tonight at 6 o'clock on The Story, only here on KGW.